What's going on, guys? David Feldman-Makrias back with you again, and I want to show you a good way to actually preview your Google Ads. And yes, if you hear anything, I am in the airport, but hey, now is the best time to have an actual valuable video for all the audience to watch. So, what I'm looking at right now is actually the back end of Google Ads. Now, this is something an agency can see, a freelancer can see. Whoever's making your Google Ads media buy should be able to see this. And the cool way is with Performance-Max, it's kind of complicated recently to actually be able to see your ads. When I'm in not only car dealerships, but any other business that utilizes Google Ads Performance-Max, I find it challenging to have to explain how Performance-Max works. And I think the biggest complexity is that it's Google's campaign designed to cover all of its different networks. Now, with that being said, what does an ad look like? Well, it depends, right? It depends on what network we're actually serving on. But this way that I'm about to go into actually tells you, not tells you, shows you how exactly your ads look like on each specific network. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you where it is in Google Ads, and then I'm going to show you an example of what it looks like, but I will have to go off the platform because I want to keep all of my clients' information anonymous. So let's do that right now. So being in the back end of Google Ads, it's pretty simple. I'm clicked into a Performance-Max campaign type, and this actually is a RAM dealer, right? You could see some of the search themes. We actually have this campaign type as a full build PMax. You'll often hear myself and some of my team members talk about on this channel that vehicle listing ads, now really branded as vehicle ads, are actually Performance-Max campaigns, but they are not full build. What does that mean? They don't have, let's go back to those networks. They don't have all the assets to actually distribute on those networks. So we're not talking about vehicle ads campaigns now. We're talking about full build Performance-Max campaigns. We're testing this out, especially with brand exclusions, which has been around there for a while, and negative keywords. So with this, David, who cares? There's a lot of mumbo jumbo, man. Just tell me, or really show me, what my ad looks like. Let's do it right now. So here's how I would do that, right? You can actually go in here, and there's actually a little guy right here. Open the menu for this asset group. So when I click this, it gives me a bunch of information. But the cool part is share preview. So when I go to share preview, it actually gives me this custom link. This custom link is shareable for 14 days, and then it will expire. But this is how you will actually be able to see your ads on all the different networks. So in this example, I'm going to show you exactly what the ads look like, keeping my client anonymous, across all the different networks, what that means, and how we can take a look. So let's do it right now. All right, so let's look at the different ads that we have here, right? How customers see your store's ads. So here's one, YouTube, right? This is a video ad. This is the actual vehicle. Buy your new Ram 1500 here. Just announce additional savings. Learn more. So look at the top here. We have YouTube, Gmail, search, which is classic Google search, display and discover. And again, this is one example, right? Here's one thing I want to point out as well. When we look at the preview screen, check this out. There are so many different types of examples. So here's actually another one that just popped up for one of our PMax that includes maps. So that's another example. But look, I'm going to hit this next preview. Like here's a map example, right? And then hit the next preview. YouTube, that's a video in stream. And then you have a YouTube ad. I'm looking right here. Then video in feed ad, right? That's someone scrolling through their YouTube feed. YouTube local ad. Then you have Gmail. Then you have another Gmail example in a different format. Another Gmail example, different format. Another one, another one, another one. Then you have search ads. Here's one example. Here's two examples. Here's three examples, four. So we understand search ads. A lot of different ones on there. And then we have another type of search ad, but this is actually, a search local ad. shown right up here. So look, all these different type of examples. We have display, all the different sizes, all the different discover ads. So one ad doesn't just look like one piece. It's all syndicated through the platform, right? With all these different examples. So when we want to see our ad, we have to expect that it's going to look a little bit different depending upon the use case, the user, and it's going to be different on each platform too, because you have YouTube feed, you have YouTube video ad, you have dynamic display, you have static display. There's a lot of different ways your ad can look. Now let's get into the actual way that we can see the preview and what that would look like. So if we look here again, here is a video in feed ad, right? It's got a picture, buy your new RAM. Here's a little bit of text, learn more. Then we have Gmail. So this will actually come up in Gmail. If you have Google email, approximately 40 to 50% of all emails are Google provided emails. That's the last time I checked on that. So it's a significant amount of people, right? A lot of people filter their promotions out as well. So I don't personally find it super effective, but that's my own bias, right? So Gmail ad, conveniently located at so on and so forth. Here's a picture, here's learn more. Here's a search ad, best deals on Ram trucks, Bighorn, Laramie, Rebel, just announced additional savings ad. They won't last long, conveniently located, test drive a Ram today, right? This is common, right? This is kind of what we think of when we think of a Google search ad. We think of this. So this is like a VLA. Let me back that up a bit. So this is actually what they call a search dynamic ad, but really it's a VLA or VA, vehicle ad. So you got the picture, you got the title, and you got the price. We're pretty familiar with that. We talked a lot about that on this channel. So now we have a display ad though too, display dynamic image ad. So this is the actual vehicle. It's the new 2026 Ram 1500 Longhorn. And it's the actual vehicle. Now display, you can have static banners. That's not the actual vehicle too, but that would be a display static image ad, right? And then finally, we have a discover ad. New Ram 1500 just announced additional savings. You'll notice this looks similar to the search ad, right? But it's on the Discover network, which is that network. I most think of the Discover network on the Google app itself. That's where I think of it most. So that's the prominent placement there. So guys, this is the overall way that we can see our ads. And you'll notice that all these examples all look different, but it's all from one campaign. And this is essentially the quintessential experience of Performance Max. And in this example, we're actually missing maps, right? So you have maps, YouTube, Gmail, search, display, and discover. You have 6 real placements, 6 networks that your ad can serve on. So that's why Performance Max is so interesting, but also so difficult to control, because it has to serve all these ads across all these networks. Now on this channel, we talk a lot about how to control Performance Max for the optimal vehicle advertising results. We do a lot of information on making sure we only have vehicle ads set up, but we're exploring Performance Max full builds where it reaches across all these networks, right? So if you want to know more on that and you would like a complimentary audit of your existing Performance Max campaigns, please let us know. My team and myself would be happy to do so. And we look forward to making more helpful information on this so we can educate car dealers on their digital front and what ads look like. Thank you guys so much. David Feldman-Makrias, and we'll talk to you next time.